Sun is shining, let's get out. See you smiling, makes me smile.
Hello, I'm Kay, and welcome back to Mendoza's Corner. We will spend no more than 5 minutes each week discussing a topic related to the queer community. We'll define the topic, give you some cool facts about it, then provide some of our thoughts. This week's topic is homosexuality in African societies. Let's define sexuality first, which is a person's sexual orientation or preference. It's common for us to hear,
You know what, Kay? I think I got this one.
Okay, Casey, I'm gonna let you have it.
It's common for us to hear history, but not history that pertains to African people. Anthropologists Stephen Murray and Will Roscoe reported that women in Lesotho, a southern country in Africa, engaged in socially acceptable, long-term relationships between Basotho women named Motswell. Evans Pritchard also recorded that male Azande warriors in the northern Congo routinely took on boy wives between the ages of 12 and 20 who helped with household tasks and participated in intercrural sex with their older husbands. Wow. The practice had died out by the early 20th century after Europeans had gained control of African countries, but was recounted to Evans Pritchard by the elders with whom he spoke. When it comes to African American women, it is also extremely important to note that since our arrival in the New World, our lives have been shaped by the forces of racial and class oppression. What does that mean? Lesbian women had to resuit themselves to fit into society by either maintaining a traditional marriage or being an unmarried caregiver for their families. The next excerpt I have for you is quite important and was given to us by Leah Buckle. Start quotation. For centuries, across the African continent, there was a completely different attitude towards sexual and gender identities. Many African countries did not see gender as a binary in the way that their European colonizers did, nor did they correlate anatomy to gender identity. In no African country prior to colonization do we see any persecution of LGBT individuals because of their sexuality, nor any anti-LGBT laws. So how, despite a very relaxed attitude towards homosexuality and gender fluidity for almost all its recorded history, has Africa become one of the most difficult continents to be LGBT. Colonization and the spread of fundamentalist Christian attitudes from the British meant that much of Africa lost its previous cultural attitude towards sexual orientation and were forced to adopt new values from British colonizers in the 19th and 20th centuries. Homophobia was legally enforced by colonial administrators and Christian missionaries. In 1910, Christians made up about 9% of the population of sub-Saharan Africa. By 2010, the figure had leapt to 63%. Anti-LGBT laws were not only written into constitutions, but also into the minds of many African people. And after the passing of several generations, this has become dogma. End quotation. Though much of African history remains unexplored, does not mean that there weren't queer people on the continent of Africa. This will take individuals who are interested in studying the human history of other African countries besides ancient Egypt and South Africa to discover. As diasporic people of Africa, it's important to understand this. Wow! Now, back to you, Kay.
We want to get you interested in the topics we share, but please don't just take our word for it. Go out, do your research in some of your downtime. We are always taking suggestions on topics for future episodes. Feel free to share with us a queer topic that you'd like for us to cover in 5 minutes or less. You can either comment or send us an email to info@iTiMiNak.com. Next week, we will continue the subject of sexuality and labels. Woohoo!